All right, third time's the charm. If you're watching this, you're probably going back to where it all started. Today, I told myself that I was going to record this video and just post it as is and just talking to the camera. One of my biggest problems that I face today, it's September 8th, 2025, is that I lack the discipline to keep going when even things are uncertain. Right now, I'm currently without a job. I quit my sales job. I was doing face to face sales. Um, that's short for I was selling cell phones in a Target and a Walmart, which is not what most people think. Like when I started this job, I was really more into the opportunity to become a business owner. And in reality, when I took the leap into a sales job, only commission, it was like the opportunity to act on all the things that I've been researching and reading on and watching YouTube videos about, which was sales, building a business, being an entrepreneur, financial freedom, what's the other passive income, like all these things that you're like just on the self help roller coaster or, the little hamster wheel. But for me, I just wanted to own something. You know what I mean? The biggest thing that brought me onto this last opportunity that I got to go to Texas. I was on opportunities, talking to very successful people, but it was more about the opportunity to become a business owner. And for me, not wanting to do that anymore is more of the trajectory and where that was going to take me. That I want to be building sales teams and developing people from square one for the next 20 to 40 years because I want to do something long term. And what I've always wanted to do was the second I made my first piece of content a couple of years ago that took me 80 to 90 takes. And it was just me saying the same message, speaking into a camera for a reel over 80 to 90 times. So it would be like 3 seconds, shut off, 4 seconds, shut off. And I realized that I want to be able to inspire, motivate, help businesses grow, which I have really no business experience, but I know I have the potential to do something great in the space, especially as a creator, not doing no stupid TikTok dances or, just some degenerate stuff. You know what I mean? I want to come on here and record and create trust with my audience um, based off integrity. You know what I mean? Doing things the right way and helping businesses and helping people grow. So, not that I wasn't doing that in my sales job, but I struggled a lot in my sales job with just showing up towards when I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, right? And my attitude was a big thing, you know, balancing my attitude and figuring out exactly why, I'm feeling certain things, why I'm human, you know what I mean? Like for me, I wish I was more of a stoic and more, I don't wish these things, but in certain situations, I'm like, damn, why am I feeling this? I just want to work, you know what I mean? So to make a long story short, I want to build a brand and I want to own that brand. The best asset to have is, you know, nowadays is your brand, your name. What does this speak for? Who are the people that follow you? And I believe that I can create a tribe, a community in which does good for the world, speaks on truth, does things the right way. Um, Today I'm 2 months married. Um, and I'm just, I never imagined my life to take off in the direction that I'm in right now. But this video is just a testament of where I'm going. I have a big vision. I have ambiguous goals. Um, but the consistency and to say that I went all in and that I've done something repetitive over and over again, I don't think I have that in terms of what I actually want. So I say I want one thing, but I'm not doing what it takes to do the other. So I want to make this video basically to start that journey and record content online. I know somebody out there is gonna want to listen to this content in the future, and that's why I'm making it, and that's the things I'm gonna go over right now. So without trying to sound too see, like I'm losing this is as not as this is not as easy as I thought, but I was way worse before. Like for me to just sit here and talk to a camera in the past, it was kind of impossible, especially recording short form of content. When I was like making reels and stuff, I had to memorize what I wanted to say. But I think I can carry a good conversation, and here's what I'm trying to do. Um, so yeah, I really just want to make this video kind of setting the foundation of where I'm going. Um, my mom just made 9 years since she passed away a few days ago, and I don't know. Ever since my mom died, I think that's where it really took off that I wanted to be like this millionaire and financially successful and do great things. Um, but then I kind of fell in a ditch. A lot of self sabotage, a lot of quote unquote trauma and experiences that were tough. Not to speak on just the loss of my mother that raised me, which is a whole other conversation. But I just knew I wanted to be great. I just knew that I was destined for greatness. Even probably growing up too. Growing up, I was kind of like the kid trying to fit in. You know, Going into high school, I picked my environments. I was in everything. I did band, played the trombone for 4 years. I was in the football team for 4 years. I wrestled. I did junior ROTC. Like I really embodied the person that I didn't want to miss any opportunities. But later on, sophomore year, I had to focus more on, just being in football. I couldn't do ROTC, play baseball, but then I gave up baseball to focus more on football. Like I realized very early on that I couldn't do everything, but I think this is why I am where I'm at today is that I've honed in on the things that I've wanted and they become reality. Like when I tell you I wanted to be sober, I wanted to be in a fruitful and like faith aligned relationship, which I am in now. I'm super blessed on like just little things. I was thinking about it last night. Um, thinking about this video that I was gonna record, and I really, I really manifested or like I prayed for all these things a lot. Like I'm living answered prayers, and that's where I want to take my content towards. Speaking more about the truth in the Bible, you know, biblical principles that are going to help you in your business. Like these are things that I feel like very passionate about, but I don't know all of the answers yet. So I'm going to just make content on it as I learn about marketing, um, funnels, copywriting, growing on YouTube. And this is what I want to do. I want to build a community of, masculinity, what it means to be a great husband as I'm starting off my marriage, hopefully soon having kids. And that in itself is something that I want to leave as a legacy for my kids, for my family to know where I started from. This is the video, you know. This is gonna be the video that I'll look back to, you know, when I'm overseeing the mountains in my hometown, in a house that I built for my family, a big garage, you know, very, you know, very beautiful experiences in a home that, you know, stands on certain principles of tradition and truth, you know, no evil. I think I see myself like I see myself flying private jets, having a strong network, having the opportunities that most people don't have access to. And I think that comes from when my mom died. You know, my mom died when she was in her early 40s. I think she was about to be 44, 43, and she died of cancer. And to me, at 18 years old, I only thought about money being the solution to that. You know, better better healthcare, better options. I just thought of like if I knew my mom was really gonna die, like which I didn't know, she was gonna die that day. She surprised us all that she was, you know, in her last couple of days. It was like I just wish I was able to like, and I'm 18 years old, right? Just graduated high school, but I wish I could have been able to be like, dang, you want to go on a vacation or do you want to go back home? Do you want to live your last couple of days in Puerto Rico? Like, I wish I could have provided that to my mom. When nowadays there's kids that are 15, 16 years old, you know, cutting up clips on social media and going viral and making money that way, or starting an e-commerce brand. Like, these things didn't exist when I was coming out of high school. Obviously, I was probably the first generation to experience like the MySpace, Facebook, you know, becoming the platform, and then Instagram just started off by like pictures. And they were, or, you know, Vine, you know what I mean? Like all these apps were just starting off the digital revolution. And that's what I want to be a part of. When I was in sales, I was thinking about starting an online business. When I was in my 9 to 5, I was thinking about starting a getting better at sales. So I think it's just levels to where I'm going. And I know that where I'm going is going to be having the opportunity to provide my kids all the values and all the opportunities that I really didn't get to. But not only that, is passing down the principles that I'm going to learn as I'm creating content, whether it's biblically, whether it's financially, whether it's just about life. You know what I mean? I love sharing my experiences. I love listening to other people's stories. So like I want to provide a platform for that. Not I'm not saying it's going to be a self-help platform. I think the biggest element for, you know, people to have freedom is financially. You know, money can only solve money problems. And I think the biggest problems that are in some people's heads is like just the idea of asking somebody for 2 weeks of vacation because they got a family member that's sick or they got to travel for a funeral. Like, I don't want to live in that. That world to me, just, I can't comprehend that. And mediocrity and like saying that I'm going to, you know, spend the next 40 years doing, you know, pressing a button. Like I can't, I just doesn't cross my mind. You know what I mean? You know, right now I don't have a job, and honestly, I'll probably get another job. You know, because I have to provide. You know, I'm married. You know, I have to, you know, figure something out until this kicks off. But like for right now, I'm recording this video because I am not getting another job until I start posting online. And I mean by YouTube channel, I think YouTube is the number one, you know, tool that I'm gonna use to build trust and, you know, engage with my audience. Um, you know, obviously I'm gonna be posting on all the other platforms. I got it written up there, you know, post 2 to 3 times a day. And, you know, I think one thing's for certain, right? we're gonna all die one day, right? And and on the spiritual aspect is another conversation, but we're just gonna die. And we don't take none of this with us. This content, this video that I'm making today, who knows, I could probably get in my car and just that's it, you know? But why not you? You know? Why not look like the fool? Why not jump in and hone into that fear of posting online? You know, that's what I'm doing right now. And I don't think I know that I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just hit record and I'm just talking. But for somebody out there, for that 20-year-old me or that 21-year-old Christian that is like looking for someone they can relate to or like looking for a message, I want that. I want to be that for somebody, you know? The things that I want to accomplish seem like not impossible because you see it every day on social media, but it's just such a small percentage. It's like a one, less than 10% chance of what I want to accomplish in the world online, and I've just I've just devoured and I've engaged in so much content in this world that it feels like I should be in it from how much I've been investing time into it. And I need to live out what I want to do. You know, I've read Think and Grow Rich more than 3 times. Some people don't even know about that book, but like that book is real. You know, um, the book of Proverbs in the Bible is like where all self help books come from. And whoever, I don't, I think Proverbs is one of the best self help books you could, read. And for me, my favorite book right now in the Bible, when I feel like I'm too like I want to get grounded, I want to get my toes in the dirt is Ecclesiastes. And like I just want to share all those stories from the Bible that people somehow the politics in the world don't share about. I want to share stories. I want to be a great storyteller. I want to speak on stages that people are scared to do. Like I want to do the things that probably don't get probably don't probably people don't root for right now. Like yeah, like there's entertainers and there's influencers and stuff, but I want to speak about put it in the public stage, like about the Bible and how we can learn more about business through biblical teachings and principles from the Bible. I don't know all of them, but I know a couple, and I'll speak on them, and I'll research the other ones, and I'll make videos on it. Like that's where I'm going with all this. Um, but going back to you know, I don't have this all figured out. Like right now, I don't have a job. Right now, I'm living on a farm in Loudoun County in Virginia. And you know, I really believe that the life that I want or that I desire, God didn't put it in my heart to not accomplish it. The more I think about it, the more the more I realize that how the heck did I end up in one of the richest counties in all of the United States? How is it that I started to sacrifice certain things? I became sober. I'm 3 years sober from alcohol. Stopped smoking weed, which was one of my biggest things that was holding me back mentally and just developing my growth. And I told myself that, I didn't, I told myself this, I wrote it down, but I told God, like, this is the type of woman that I want. And dang, will accept nothing less, and he's provided that. And I think he'll do the same with providing me the family and opportunity to impact the lives of others. And I just wanted to come on here and just share, you know, the beginning of something, the genesis, the beginning of something great story that if someone was watching my movie, if someone was watching my movie, they just tapped into this moment, it's like, create more content, get online, grow your name. I feel like somebody is just telling me like that's what you need to do because they probably know the end of the story. And I need to take the first step today. That's what I'm doing. You know, we're living in strange times. AI is taking off, and I think the biggest thing going forward is that platforms will evolve, and different things will come. But I just don't want to have my my family's livelihood based on somebody else but me. Like I would bet on me, and I need to be more consistent to be more confident betting on me. You know, I'm going somewhere. I'm gonna be great. And I think that life is too short. I think that time doesn't forgive. My mom used to tell me that. And heck, we're living in a simulation. And the other thing too is I want to get on here and create content on the things that I'm curious about. I feel like there's more people that will connect and understand of the things that go on in my head without sharing too much. Um, I think that I'm making this video just to talk and get more comfortable in front of the camera. Obviously, I'll come more prepared in the future. I probably will be in a nicer place and I'll get the ring light going and all that, but I just wanted to make this video and not in a nicer place. I'm just saying like we all got to start from somewhere, but I'm just doing this warm-up video. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit longer. Let me just respond here to the wife. you know I think nobody's coming to save you. I think that phrase, or just two words. I think two words, like, you can figure this out after you lose, especially a family member, a girlfriend, death, career, something. It's two things, two words. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I think if you take that perspective and you run with it, you'll find him. Because once you stop living for the world, and I know of all the things that I've said and so far in this video, I think that's one of the biggest things is that when you feel alone, when you feel the most pain or whatever. It's like nothing compares to the love of God and what He can provide us. And I know I took a turn here, but I think that's the biggest reason I haven't been in alignment, is that not pursuing Him, being centered and aligned, and not working as hard as I know that I can, you know, or not just working hard as I can, but not living in my true potential or using my God given gifts. And I think, I have been told many times that you're just like a people person, or like you have a way that people want to be around you, or like, just I generally find myself interested in wanting to, help people, and I'm curious. I like to ask questions, and I think that's why I'm here, um, creating this video. But this is just the beginning of something, to my future kids. Don't be ever, don't be ever, don't ever be afraid to pursue anything that keeps you up at night, or you just want to try, ask questions, you know. That's what I'm doing now. Starting something, so by the time you guys are here, you know, be able to see the fruits of it. And just don't give up. Don't give up. Won't give up on you ever. Man, this is getting kind of deep here, man. I'm just trying to make a video and record, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. I think I'm just venting here and talking into the camera. Most people probably won't watch this video right now, but we'll probably go back and find it somewhere in the matrix, you know. But yeah, I think pursuing the uncertain. I think I got what it takes, and I see too many people in the world reaching success that, they say comparison is a thief of all joy or whatever, but dang, I know I could live if I just dive into the deep end and swim. 'Cause that's what everybody else did, and they just stood at it. Wow. Wow. Check you guys out. First video. Time to rock.